Hey YouTube, January 2016. I imagine a lot of people out there are trying to get in shape and start off the new year right, as I am. I made the decision to buy a Bowflex Maxtrainer M5 and just thought I would share my experience up to this point. So far it's been real good. I've been pretty happy with the whole ordering process. We ordered it one night, and I was expecting it to show up probably 8 or 9 days, 10 days later, whatever. And it showed up within 3 days on my porch, so that was kind of cool. You get two boxes that you can see in the background. I left the packaging there where you can see it. One box is about 4 feet tall, maybe 30 inches wide or so, and the other smaller, thinner box, that's where all of your miscellaneous pieces and parts that you have to assemble, those come in that. And I was pretty happy with the packaging. It was done real well, everything. I wasn't afraid of any kind of scratching or breakage or anything like that on the pieces because they were done real well. One thing I was happy about when taking everything apart, I've done a lot of mechanical type of things. I was in construction and I've done a lot of mechanics and stuff, so when stuff feels cheap, it bothers me. And everything felt pretty solid on this. The arm that runs on the bearing and all that kind of stuff, it was machined real well, and all the parts are heavy. It didn't. I weigh about 198 or so, and I was afraid that when I got on it, it was going to kind of feel light and cheap and kind of wiggle around when you're moving on it. But it's real solid. I mean, you can get on it and crank away, and it sits right there. So it's a good quality, heavy duty piece of exercise equipment that will kick your butt. I got on it. I'm just trying to get past the lowest setting, and there's lots of room for growth, so to speak. So I would say when you get the boxes, two people, if you're not that strong, two people definitely. They're just kind of bulky and awkward. Even if you are a little bit stronger, maybe if you got to go upstairs, it'd be good to have a second person or a dolly of some sort to get them where you want them to go. Disassemble all the boxes and everything right where you want it to sit. Makes it a little bit easier. Right here, this main section of the unit, that was in the one bigger, taller box. And once I assembled the lower legs, the very first step that you got to do, once I put those legs on there, I was actually able to walk it onto the lower base by myself. They say two people to put it on there, but you can kind of walk it onto that base and screw it onto place, and then you're pretty well good to go from that point. You wouldn't want to walk it on hardwood floors because you'd probably scratch your floors up, but I've got carpet, so it wasn't a problem. The one thing that I would say is the screw package that I got is this beastie little right here, and let's see if I put it to the camera. If you look at it, there's markings on it that tell you, which pieces go where. But by the time you flip it over and you got to rip all the paper off the back, it kind of messes up the whole thing. It's a little hard to know what goes where. But that being said, the screws pretty much go where they go, and there's about 3 different sizes, and you can't really put them in the wrong spots. The only thing you can maybe do is mix up your lock washers a little bit, but it makes sense if you read the instructions. I'm fairly mechanical, but even if you're not, it's not that hard to assemble. I got this instruction manual right here, and the instructions were written fairly well. I'll put them up closer, you can see, but it was fairly clear. It wasn't that hard. There was maybe 6 or 7 steps, nine steps to put the thing together, and it went pretty well. The only thing that I would say is they give you some different wrenches to put the thing together with, and some of the hex nuts have glue on them to hold them in place so they don't wiggle out. And what I would say is when you're wrenching on these, it does get kind of tedious and a little bit hard on the hands. So maybe somebody that doesn't have real strong carpenter paws like I got, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of work to get those things wrenched down, but it's pretty much doable for anybody and everybody. One thing that I did want to bring up on this machine is when I was going through installing the legs and the arms that go onto the flywheel, right here there's a bushing, and you slide a bearing over that, and it's a pretty tight fit. It's a machine fit, and that's the way that it's supposed to be. I would suggest a rubber mallet or something to tap that on. I used my paw and banged it on there with my fist, and I got it on there. But a rubber mallet would probably be smarter. And in looking at the picture, sorry, my drum set, I got a little electronic drum set sitting in the background. This stuff over there, that's not part of the Bowflex at all, but it looks a little confusing, so sorry about that in the background. So in the basic installation and putting this whole thing together, everything went real smooth. The only thing I really had to look at for a second was where the plug-in goes. I thought it was more, let's see if I can do it. I thought it was going to be up a little bit higher, like in this area, but it's all the way down around the corner towards the carpet. So you just got to get down on your hands and knees and look around a little bit farther, and it's down more underneath. That's where the plug-in is. And the only other thing too is, how do I do this? Well, right here, there's a rubber bushing, and it's just basically a cosmetic cover piece that you have to rotate it around and find out where those little notches go. There was a slice in it to where you can go around that bar, and I just pushed that natural cut towards the front of the machine, and that's where it aligned best for me. So I'm sure that's the way that it goes. The only other thing that I've heard online was that people kind of thought it was a little bit noisy. It's not that noisy. I mean, I kind of like it. It's kind of peaceful sounding. Makes a little bit of a whirring sound and lets you know you're working. I'll run on it real quick and let you hear it. So that was just on freewheeling. There's lots of different programs and settings where you can do it to where, like they say on the commercials, where you do a period of real slow, like I was doing, and then you just go crazy and crank it up. Very good for the cardio. I mean, it's kicking my butt, so I'm happy about that. And a lot of room for growth. There's a long way for me to go on this thing, so that's good. All in all, I was real happy, and hopefully this thing will be a good machine for a very long time.